Hey guys, Dr. John Michael Salvato here. This is the Mindshift Mastery Program, day 48. And as we started to talk about yesterday, today is the quarter, the end of the first quarter of our 200-day Mindshift Mastery Program, a program designed for you to be able to make one simple shift in your consciousness, one simple shift in your mindset every single day and move you closer and closer to your goals. And today's a special day because rather than focusing on curriculum and looking at making a shift today, we're going to talk about what some of the results are, the progress maybe that you've made, maybe some of the questions that have come up along the way, realizations that you might have had. Really, it's an open topic, opportunity for us to talk about this program and what it's done. And so as we're waiting for for a couple other folks to get here, if it ends up just being the John Michael and Jen show, that's great with me as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about. I'm going to start by talking about what this program has done for me. And I started to tell you guys yesterday how much I really appreciate your perseverance. Most of the people who were involved in this program have fallen by the wayside, and I personally don't think there's any quality that's as essential to success of any kind, really, whether we're talking about business or we're talking about relationships, whether we're talking about your spiritual progress. There's no quality that's as essential to your success as the quality of perseverance. It overcomes almost anything in our given nature. It's the author Thomas Buxton said, with ordinary talent and extraordinary perseverance, all things are possible, or all things are attainable. And I think there's great truth in that statement. And so you guys are actually validation of that for me. We started this program as a fundraiser, and as we were starting today, Eunice and Billy stopped by. And that's who I was talking to in sign language off screen, or just off camera, and they're just so grateful and wanted me to extend their gratitude. Although I couldn't talk them into sitting in front of the screen and me just interpreting for them. They don't speak at all. They strictly use sign language, and they just said, we just really want to thank you. Because were it not for this program, we wouldn't have been able to initially help them. And then because of the things that happened in this program, the unforeseen circumstances, if you will, that led me to talking with my friend Gerhard, I discovered the crowdfunding option for them. And today, I'm very happy to say that we were able to give them another $500 that will go far. To make sure that they've got food for the next couple months, and Eunice was teary-eyed at the fact that we were able to do that, and so she wanted to extend her gratitude to all of you guys and to all of the folks who embraced the idea of the crowdfunding, which has just been absolutely astounding for me. And then as it turns out, the crowdfunding is going to be a major part of what I do. So probably the biggest progress for me personally in sharing this curriculum for what I think is maybe the 8th or 9th time. There's been other times that I've been sharing it 3 or 4 times in the course of a year, but it's still 1 year that I'm sharing the overall curriculum. So I think this is the 8th time, maybe the 9th time. And for me, what really struck me in sharing this with you guys was the recognition, because every other time I've done this, it's always been with a very steep tuition involved, and it was my business. This really let me find the truth in the fact that this is one of my principal passions, that helping people to achieve primary greatness is more important to me than helping them achieve financial success, but that if I can teach them these strategies on a daily basis, I can teach them how to do both. And so when the carpet got pulled out from under me, 2 days ago, and it became evident that I was being asked to compromise my ethics in a very severe way, and I was unwilling to do so. And when that became clear, that I was going to end up having to walk away from a significant income, for the first time ever, that was not really that frightening for me, because you guys have helped me to recognize that this is my passion, this is what I want to do, and that my days of doing MLM personally are over, and I'm thrilled to be able to say that. Because that means I get to work with individuals and help them succeed at their businesses, whether that's network marketing or any other kind of venture that they're passionate about, including nonprofit organizations and community service organizations, and that's who I am as a person. So that's my progress I've achieved in this first quarter, and I'm very grateful for each one of you, because if I didn't have the opportunity to share this with you at what amounts to next to nothing in terms of cost, and absolutely nothing in terms of personal profit, I wouldn't have realized how much I love this, how much this just really brings me joy on a daily basis. So we're going to continue to evolve. We're going to continue. The program itself is going to evolve. Our involvement in the greater community will continue to evolve, and in no small part because of your contributions. So let's hear from you guys. What are some of the great takeaways, or the questions, or the progress reports that you want to share that have occurred in your life over the last 48 sessions, which I think I think we started in February, so February, March, April, May, June, July. It's really 6 months of time, or 5 months maybe, of time that we've invested in this, that translates into 49 actual business days. So guys, go ahead and share, because this is your day. This is your day to talk and share and ask questions and celebrate your success.
Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Awesome. I think for me, the biggest takeaway is, a month ago, 2 months ago, I would have never thought about writing. I mean, it was something I always wanted to do, but I've always had someone in my ear telling me not good enough and all that fun stuff. But now, I'm working on my first book. I actually went out and bought a little keyboard laptop type thing, and I'm writing to write a book. I'm looking into self-publishing on Kindle kind of thing, but it's the craziest thing. I'm sitting back and it's like, this doesn't feel weird. This doesn't feel bizarre or like I shouldn't be doing it. This feels like where I'm supposed to been all this time. And I really have to think, the only thing that's really changed is me being in this class. And yeah, I got to say thank you for that, because it's pretty amazing. That's all I got right now.
And I think, and I appreciate that, and I think that being in this class might be a small part of it, but what's really changed is you. The change that I've seen in you over the last 49 sessions has been profound. I mean, it's like you've actually been born again, to steal a phrase that gets abused by the Fundy McNuggets. There's this tremendous rebirth of the goddess within, and you've like really come into your own and owned that and embodied it, and it's amazing to me, astounding to me, that you've never written before and never wanted to write, because you write like you've been writing your whole life, and that's really cool to see.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm pretty excited for it. I really am. I look back at when I started, I was with an MLM company, and now it's like, well, no wonder that didn't work out. It's kind of like when you look at past relationships. No wonder those didn't work out, because that's not where you were supposed to be. This is awesome, and I'm loving every minute of it, and I'm really excited to see what's the next step.
Right on. Okay, guys. So, Jen, thanks so much for sharing that, and I'm honored. I mean, I told myself I'm just not going to let this be an emotional thing for me, you know, to be as grateful as I am for the changes that I'm seeing in you guys' lives, because it's not about me, it's about you. So I'm just going to simply leave it there at thank you, and thank you for what you bring on a daily basis. And Ita and Sandy, you know, share, and you know, today, since you got here a little bit late, we're talking. It's the end of the first quarter for this program. Even though it's almost been 6 months that we're doing this, it's really only been 48 days of sessions. And so today we're asking questions that might have come up in the course of the last 48 sessions. We're sharing our progress reports, maybe our greatest takeaways, maybe what we just an opportunity to express what we're grateful for within this group itself. So you know, the mic is yours today. We talked a little. I shared a little bit about what this has meant for me. Jen just shared beautifully what it's meant for her, and I would really love to hear from the two of you.
Hiya, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hi. Yes, I love hearing Jen's testimony there about finding what her passion is, because in essence, with doing the course over the last couple of months, I was up in a heat basically. At the beginning of this course, I was, and I still have the three businesses because I'm a bit of a Libra, so I sort of hold on to things until I'm 199% sure. But with delving into ourselves on this course, with yourself and teaching us about delving into our psyche and finding out how we approach everything, it has sort of helped me to narrow down in a way where my direction is going with the three businesses. I know I won't hold on to the three businesses forever because it's way too much time. So I'm still rounding everything out, but it's helped me to get into a direction of where I'm going and helped me to narrow down where I need to be at and what is important in my life, rather than frantically trying to get the businesses up and going and let the other aspects of my life slide. So, as I said, I'm not exactly where Jen is right now, and I'm like you, shocked that she hasn't written before, because from reading her blog, I had assumed that she has the whole spiel and everything. It literally flows out of her when I'm reading her blog. So I'll be excited to read her book when she does finish it. But yes, looking forward to the rest of the course, because I do need the direction of where we're going and where my direction in life is going to. So yes, I'm loving it.
That's awesome. You know, I have a question for you. As you shared that with me, I can't help but wonder, are you beginning to find, as you look at your three businesses, are you, and I'm not asking you to identify it, I'm not trying to push or anything, but are you beginning to find where your passion really lies? Is that what's happening, or is it about something else?
It's I had four businesses, and I had to let the passion one go, because I wasn't making any money on that. Because, well, basically, having four businesses and not making any money is like, this is ridiculous. And as I'm learning with you about, I was doing it all wrong. I was trying to follow leaders that were doing it years ago, and obviously I'm not doing that now. But I had to let the one I was passionate about go last year. It's always there to restart up again when funds are open for it. But right now, I'm trying to narrow down where the funds are right. I might as well just straight up say I'm not passionate about any of the three of them. The funds are coming in on two of them, and one is up in the air. So the one up in the air there's no funds on that one, but that's my biggest audience. So yeah, it's a big up in the air thing that I could probably need some guidance on, but obviously this is not the platform for that.
Sure. Well, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that you said that, because that was my sense in getting to know you over this time, and I applaud the maturity of your process there, because what you've just said to me was that you recognize that one of those three businesses gives you the greatest audience. Another, the other businesses are generating the income you need right now. And I was actually just talking to someone today whom I referred to you. So if you speak to a woman named Mary over the next couple of days, and I didn't ask for permission to share her contact info, so I'm just going to leave her first name out there. But I was talking to this woman, Mary, and she was talking about how she needs to have some elective surgery done, and she actually does need the surgery because first of all, she would spend billions of dollars on wraps to get just to handle her size. And this has become a really serious health problem that's going to cost her life if she doesn't do the surgery. But she doesn't have really adequate insurance, and so we were talking about using crowdfunding, and I explained to her what we were able to do for Eunice and Billy, and how we've already generated $1,500 since we set up their crowdfunding account. A total of just gave them $500 more today, and I said, hey, you're looking at about a $2,500 expense for your portion, your out of pocket on the bariatric surgery. And when that's done, there's going to be loose skin. I mean, I've seen several people in our family who've had it done, Craig's family. So I know what she has ahead of her. And I said, so you're going to want to connect with this group of women, many of whom are facing those challenges, many of whom are looking at those options. And you're going to want to talk to my friend Ita, because she can share with you how then to tighten and firm that skin, and how to to continue your journey, because really for somebody on a weight loss journey who's going the bariatric route, that's just where the weight loss begins. It may seem like a tremendous amount of weight that she'll lose in those 6 weeks, 8 weeks prior to the surgery, as she learns how to eat better. And then 6 months after the surgery, yeah, there's 100 pounds, 200 pounds that get lost there, but that's the beginning of the journey. So there's somebody I'm going to share that with you, and my idea when I was sharing that with her was, I don't know whether this is the business that Ita is the most passionate about, but I know that it's a good that she's a good resource. I know that this is a good connection for Mary, and I know that any business for any one of us that generates some income right now is going to be a good business. It may not be where we want to stay. The business that I was with until yesterday was a good source of income for me, but there was a constant struggle there because the leaders in my organization were pressuring me for the last 8 months to compromise my integrity and make blanket statements. They wanted me to remove content from the videos that I did talking about toxic ingredients in our home because they had concerns about some of what I was saying. And it wasn't that what I was saying was the issue. It was they were afraid what it was going to do to their business, and maybe people were going to look at other options, and maybe people were going to really start reading all the labels. And so, I understand that concept. That for me, that was a home shopping program that had 500 products, and I don't go to my local grocery store and buy every product on the shelf. There are some products at the grocery store I will never buy. And my approach to that business was that I tell people there are certain products here I will never buy because I don't personally, as a physician, agree with the formulations. So, excuse me. So let me first tell you that my oath, my commitment, my vows, if you will, to life is to do no harm and to put people first. So I'm going to recommend that, for example, you go and get this green nutrition drink from GNC. I'm going to recommend that you avoid this product or that product. Stay away from products that have this ingredient in them if you're dealing with fibromyalgia and so on. So I applaud you, Ita. That was kind of a long way of pointing out the point that sometimes in our journey, it is a journey, and we have to do some of the things that we may not be passionate about. It may not be 100% where we want to be, but it always gets us to where we want to be. That if we allow ourselves to do these mind shifts, and believe me, the first quarter of this curriculum was the easy kind of baby steps. The stuff that's coming starting next week is the fun, really, we dive into the meat of this process. So I'm really thrilled about that. And so thank you. Sandy, I realize you haven't been with us for all 48 days online on camera, but I know you've been following what we're doing along that almost that entire time. So anything you want to share, any takeaways, any questions, any observations from your vast wisdom that I know everybody has expressed an appreciation for every day when you share just from your experiences and your your life's journey.
Okay, well, I made 6 points that I wanted to briefly just touch on today, but I'm going to take number 6 first because we've just been talking about mind shift and health and how sometimes you have to prioritize in your own personal life what works for you. Can you hear my AC in the background? Do I need to shut it off?
No, I don't hear it at all.
Okay, great. So anyway, my 6th one today was how do you psych yourself up for the tough goals? And I'll just give you just a quick background. Around March 1st, John Michael and Craig were in Clearwater visiting relatives, and I spent the day with them, and that was my day 3 of detoxing from total sugar. I was a mess. I was shaky. I felt nervous. Oh, the detox from anything on about the 2nd or 3rd day was tough. But you know what? I powered through it. I powered through that tough period of my body feeling like crap until the energy started to come back. So I think mind shift to me means a lot of things, and one of them is how do you psych yourself up to do the tough things in life? Because we all if we have a list of things to do, what do we do first? We do the easy things first. That's human nature. But then you get down to line 12, and it is the tough job. It's the tough phone call you have to make. It's the tough decision you have to make. It's the life-changing decision you have to make. So how do you psych yourself up for that? And you do it simply by making that your priority of the day. The thing that you want to do the least, you do first. And that works well for you, and you're just going to have to trust me. I don't know how it works, but once you get over that hurdle of that dreaded phone call, that dreaded conversation with a loved one, whatever it is, walking away from something that you just need to walk away from, but it's tugging at you. I listen to a series, a CD series over and over sometimes, and it's simply called Willpower. We have more willpower usually in the morning or when you first wake up. Now that might be you wake up at 11 o'clock, but your willpower is going to be strongest then. And as the day and you solve a lot of problems, you wear down, you have less willpower at night, according to the guys who wrote Willpower. That's the way it works. And I find that's usually true, because if you work a day, you come home at night, you're tired, you've got kids to deal with or whatever you're dealing with, and boy, one more thing, you really just don't want to do it. So you psych yourself up to do the hardest things first. Now that was number 6 on my list. I'm going to drop it there. You get my gist. What I really wanted to say, it's okay to be me. And this course has reinforced that to me. It is okay for me to be who I am. I am who I am because I am willing to step out of my comfort zone. I learned that a long time ago, and I abide by that principle. Step out of your comfort zone, because that's where the rewards are. Being a doer, I think that opposite things are not in your comfort zone, things that are opposite to your true nature. So just learn the lesson and confront those and work through them. Follow your instincts and your heart. Don't follow someone else's path, because it won't work for you. It might work temporarily for you, but you have to set your own goals, your own moral code, what you're willing to accept in a relationship, what you're not. And once you determine who you are, then that makes the rest of that path easy. I work off a list, and I make goals, and I go back and review my goals every once in a while. I set benchmarks. A goal isn't a goal unless you know how to get there. So jot down, how do I reach this goal? If you're in marketing, if you make cold calls, how many calls do you make a day? You set those, and then are you doing it? Well, if you're not doing it, and you're doing the easy things on your list, then you might not reach your goal. And right now I'm going through this personal dilemma with who I am in America today. It's all over everywhere we look, every ad that's on the TV. It is damning someone or something. And you know what? I'm not that person. I am a cut above all of these so-called boxes that politicians, haters of politicians, no matter what your race, your religion, it's okay. But don't put me in your box and make me a statistic. That's not who I am. And I'm really struggling with that today, so I don't know how this is going to progress, but the rebel in me is coming out. And I like it sometimes. It's good to have a rebel in you sometimes. That's about it for today. I think I rambled on enough.
Oh, that's awesome. You know, I don't know how you could just so humbly just say, you know, I'm good enough as I am, because you're better than good enough, and really each and every one of you are. So thank you for that, Sandy. I think that there's, you know, one of the things I just have to applaud most, because those were fantastic points, and that was a really great synopsis of the past 48 days of Mindshift. You know, if I had to categorize them, those categories, those 6 categories would be perfect. But I think one of the biggest things that I would love everyone to think about as we wrap up today, which will be, looks like another day we'll have stayed within the 30-minute mark, and that is the last point that Sandy made. Understanding that, excuse me, only you can make the decision to be placed in the boxes, in the labels, the categories that our media and society would like to place us in. Or you can make the decision, the bold decision, that you are a cut above, as Sandy said, that you don't fit in any box, and that you won't allow somebody to place you in a box. And I think that as we move into this next quarter for the Mindshift, you're going to start to find that that's true about each and every one of you. And it's really true about every person on this planet. These categories that we create are all human constructs. I'm so proud, and we'll probably get smacked if he sees this later for sharing it, because he's so humble and he's so shy about things like this. But you know, Craig went back to school for the first time in 15 years. He decided he wanted to finish up his degree that he started 15 years ago before he had 5 brain surgeries. And I'm proud of him just for doing that, for making the decision, whether he had brain surgeries or not. When a 40-some-year-old man or woman says, I'm going to go back to school and finish my degree, that's an awesome decision to begin with. But he's in his second week now of his freshman year, because they actually only gave him credit for a few of his previous associate degree courses, because he's now switched majors and he's working on a major in accounting, and all of his theater courses and arts courses and literature courses don't apply to that particular the requirements for his associate's degree. So he's a freshman again, and in his second week, he wrote a beautiful, a powerful essay that's part of a scholarship process that he's applying for. And his teacher ended up giving him extra credit because they said it was one of the most powerful essays they read. And the topic, and I won't give a spoiler, because I would really love when he gets the scholarship for him to share this essay with others. I would love for him to do it on camera. But it was very powerful, and he was inspired by something that Bill Nye, the science guy, said, and when he said this idea that there is a race war going on is a human construct. It's a lie. Don't let somebody put you into the box that says you're part of this race or that race, because there is one race, the human race, and our skin colors are simply a matter of biology. They're a matter of how much melanin is activated in your skin, and the melanin is determined by your geographic location, by your exposure to sunlight, to ultraviolet light, by uh, a number of factors that hereditary wise, how you've evolved as hunter-gatherers, people who work outside, as people who live closer to the equator. But at the end of the day, we're all the same stardust. We're all the same. We are human beings, and we have a lot more in common than we don't have in common. And Craig wrote this beautiful piece about what's going on with racial tension and how he feels he can have an impact on the world. So I'm just blown away by that, and it fits right in with what Sandy says. And so many times in my life, where Sandy and Craig are coming from are the same place at the same time, and they are tremendous sources of inspiration for me. So I truly thank you, Sandy, and while he's not on this webinar, I thank Craig. But I want you guys to understand that, to be ready to understand that you don't fit in anybody's box, that you don't necessarily have to fit in anybody's story. I was told in the last 48 hours that I'm a megalomaniac, that I'm a complete asshole. These are all quotes. That I'm one of the most unhappy people on the planet. All of these crazy, batshit crazy statements. That I don't care about people. I'm mediocre in my mentality. All of these things that if I accepted them, I think I would just be suicidal, because the picture that was being painted by this mean-spirited, childish individual was just horrible. And yet there wasn't even a second that I looked at these things that they wrote and thought, wow, maybe that's true about me. And the reason for that isn't because I'm so egotistical that I think I'm perfect, because I'm far from perfect, and every one of you can validate that. It's because I'm imperfect, because I'm transparent and have no filters. I live my life in the moment, and all of those things, all of those qualities are people who can't live their lives in the moment. Is my life perfect? Absolutely not. Are there things that I struggle with? Absolutely. Sandy and I were talking today about what I think the underlying cause for struggle in my life is, and it comes from not being able to control other people's healing journey. And that's a difficult one for me. It's a difficult one for me as somebody who loves deeply. It's a difficult one for me as someone who's a naturopathic physician who knows better. And it's a difficult one for me as somebody who's so very empathic. It's hard to watch people suffer. It hurts, truly, physically and emotionally. But I recognize that if I'm going to have any impact on this world, I have to be willing to let go and let other people experience their journeys. I would love right now, I have a couple people who are they're on the brink of financial disaster. And yet they have as much money coming in as I do, at least. They have as many talents as I do, at least. But they are not. They've just made the decision that they're a victim, and that's frustrating to watch. So this next quarter is going to be about you guys coming into your own, taking this to the next level. The progress you've made in the first quarter is going to be accelerated the further we get along this year. And it's going to be about recognizing the opportunity that we all have to let go and let other people have their own experiences. So I want to thank you guys. This has been a nice celebration of the progress that you guys have made, a great opportunity for me to just see the sense of community that's evolving here. I know there are a couple people who would like to have been on today's session but can't because of because of school, because of work, because of travel. And so, we appreciate you too. And again, I encourage you guys, start using the blog because that is something that not many people are doing. Your comments on the blog are preserved in a way that people can get quick little sound bites that may not have the time or may not be inspired to watch one of these programs yet. But if they see your comments on the blog, maybe that'll inspire them to take that time, watch the show, and maybe we'll change some more lives. So, guys, stay in the moment. Be grateful for what you have. Tomorrow is our Inner Alchemy program at 1:30 with Reverend Robert Brzezinski. I'm really looking forward to that. We've got a great topic that's coming up for tomorrow's show. And again, thank you for all of you who wished me well yesterday as I took some time off, walked along the river, left my phone here, and I actually wished I had it with me a couple times because it was beautiful. And I just really enjoyed that unplugging for a little while, and I'm probably going to do that for about an hour or two this afternoon and every afternoon hereafter because it really gave me that opportunity to feel grounded. I took my shoes off, I walked along the riverfront in a way that allowed me to ground with the earth, and it had been months since I had been doing that on a regular basis, so it's now part of my daily experience. So, guys, I love and appreciate you. We've gone 7 minutes over because I haven't shut up. So I'm going to shut up, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Namaste.